Hello, I'm Jamie.
Hello, I'm Mark, and it's time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between. It's Tuesday night, it's 7:30, it's time for another episode of
Through the Garden Gate.
Well done, you didn't try and steal my lines tonight. See when Jamie's in, we can get him in. Hello, Jamie.
I'm in. I've been in ages.
You don't have a piece of paper just in front of your face this time.
Smaller piece of paper.
Not a massive one like before.
I came on just exactly when you did. You just obviously didn't show you I'm here for ages.
No. It does take a while to come up and say, Jamie has joined.
There's obviously a delay, isn't there?
At least you actually see us. Sometimes it doesn't show us for ages, does it?
Yeah. No, he was instant today. We must both have really good internet signals.
Well, I'm on the Wi-Fi at the moment. So
Oh, that'll go down in a minute.
yeah, soon go blocky.
Turn it off then.
Especially with the wind that we're currently experiencing.
Turn
You still got it?
then.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's like every now and again it does a really strong one.
Mm.
Like, oh my
We
God.
were really bad over the night until about 10 o'clock probably, and then it's not been nice, but it's eased off.
It's made its way up to Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
So we haven't had that much rain or anything, it's just been a bit
Windy.
and miserable.
You must have, because there's a canal down the bottom of the garden now.
Yeah, at work.
Yeah.
Not even it's a very fast flow. I wouldn't want to jump in that, I'd be gone.
Yeah. It's really deep, isn't it? That was
I have a good idea.
non-existent.
That
wouldn't be cool.
well, anyway, at least we wouldn't have to worry.
Well, we would have to worry because Dash would be drowning.
Well, at least it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah. Just shows, doesn't it, how much water's running off them fields.
Yep. Certainly is. I mean, it must be at least 7 or 8 foot deep, that water now,
Wow.
if not more.
And considering a lot of it was bone dry, wasn't it?
Well, it's completely run dry in the summer. 3 months ago?
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
well,
Like you said in your story, she always catches up.
she does.
God,
Might
really
not when
does.
you want it. You do your arm back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Can't
take your
forget
arm back.
about that.
Well, never, George, never.
This one.
That one. Garden fact. I come from
Poinsettia.
Poinsettia is native to Mexico. Its bright petals are actually leaves called bracts. It needs warmth and light, but it dislikes cold drafts.
Yes.
Very topical.
I like her.
Time of year.
I like a nice poinsettia.
There doesn't seem to be the craze this year yet of everybody going out and getting their pink one or whatever it was.
It was a couple of years ago, wasn't it, when it was really pinks and creams and yellows.
And everyone had to have one.
Yeah. I think I drove around about 5 different Lidls, all in about 30-mile radius of Kings Lynn.
You finally got one.
But they're lovely. They're really nice. A lot of people hate them, though, don't they? Especially the plain red ones.
Yeah, they're sort of 90s house plants.
Yeah.
They just never survive, do they? They don't, because they tend to stick them at the front of the shop and they get blasted with that cold air every time the door opens.
Yeah.
They're dead.
We were somewhere the other day. Where were we? At a shop or somewhere, and I saw a woman walking out of the shop across the car park, and I went to Teresa. That one's had it.
They should come with blankets.
Yeah.
Hello, what?
Yeah, definitely.
Hello?
But they are. Right, George, what have you been doing?
Nothing.
Nothing apart from the Christmas tree and stuff like that.
Picked a Christmas tree at the weekend.
I did spot that.
Other than that, not a lot else, is it? It's probably the only time you went outside.
I'm putting the Christmas decorations up. Well, I couldn't because it's been raining.
As your football pitch is like a pond.
Yeah.
So,
What, you scared of getting it wet, are you?
well, you really like swimming.
Well,
You just swimming rather than
we know he's good at that, so he'll be all right.
You got your third badge.
Yep.
You can play water polo instead.
Oh.
Go on then. If you got nothing else to report.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Grinchy.
See you next week, Grouchy. Stink, stank, stomp.
Guess what my gardening has been through this week?
Nothing.
No.
Mulching.
No. I had to get the leaves up and cut the back lawn ready for 7 little ginger things to run outside. Yeah. So the weekend I cut the lawn and get all the leaves up so they could play. And they love it. Absolutely love it outside.
Mental.
Oh, it's crazy.
I bet you had a fair amount of leaves from all your apple tree.
Lots of leaves. Picked them all up with a lawnmower, which is really good because it mulches them. Chucks them all up.
Straight on the compost.
And you get a bit of top of the grass as well. So that's, it's a bit of both.
Yeah. Helps with what
Good way of doing it. Yeah. I've still got loads and loads of leaves to get up on the drive.
Yeah,
Something not gardening related. My blooming car gearbox blew up on Saturday.
Oh, no way. What, your Land Rover? Oh, that's expensive.
We were on the way to Newmarket on the dual carriageway, which is the A11, and it started vibrating and then went bang. And oh no.
They get AA to come and tow you home, or?
The equivalent. It wasn't AA, it was a local one. 250 quid to get us home. And then now it starts. Well, it don't start.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so that was a nice little Saturday for us.
Not what you want before Christmas?
No, definitely not.
So you'd be driving around in your work van then?
I'm in the van. Teresa's in
horse box.
No, because Hannah's still learning to drive, so she's got a little Fiesta with L plates on, so Teresa's using that at the minute.
That's a bit of a come down from a Land Rover.
I sure did, Joe. The police came round and they stopped the traffic for, 20 minutes on the A11 because they crawled right the way from back up at Thetford, and they crawled at 2 mile an hour to let the tow truck come, pick us up, tow us up, and then we did. If there was tailbacks on the A11, it was me.
You're famous. Everyone hates you.
No, I didn't want to, but I thought, it's not much traffic. There's 2 police cars just doing about 2 mile an hour with the blue lights flashing, going all really slowly. Oh no!
Embarrassing.
Oh God, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Oh well, and that's about my car journey. Have you done anything more than making Christmas things at work?
I was clearing leaves up the other day because I thought I'd better get rid of a few before it blows everywhere. So I cleared a few leaves off the lawn and put them into areas where they weren't going to get blown around or anything. Did some potting on in the polytunnel earlier on when it was miserable. Potted on some salad leaves, and broad beans are coming up nicely now.
Nice.
Cornflowers potted on. So a few bits and pieces. Planted some bulbs today.
Have you?
Some snowflakes, which is the bigger. They're not really a snowdrop, but they're very similar.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But they're slightly taller, and they like it near the lake and the stream and stuff. So, been doing some of those. Got 250 probably did half weeding as I went along. So I knew
Do you
where.
do them singly, or can you just put 4 or 5 in one hole?
Well, I was doing clumps, so just
Yeah.
chucking a few on the floor and then putting a few in.
Yeah,
Usually,
they look better when there's a bit more natural clumps and things.
yeah, because we put a load in when we first did it, and there's only a few that really got going. So I thought if I get some more clumps going, because those ones that are there look lovely. So
Yeah.
but I mean, the soil is so wet. When I was putting my hori in to make a hole, bottom of my hole was filling up with water.
Wow.
It was just so damp.
Be careful they don't rot then, really.
Well, luckily they like it wet, so you dig. I mean, you naturally you see them on stream edges, so they obviously like it wet. So
That's all right.
I don't think they will rot. Luckily, but I've got some native daffodils to go in and some wild tulips as well left to plant. All the
Lovely.
naturalising bulbs rather than bulbs that will rot off and never be seen again.
Yeah, 1 year wonders.
Yeah, no more wasting money on fancy tulips and stuff like that.
No. Have you got bluebells in the woods?
There's bluebells near the front gate along that walk that goes along the sort of front road and the front gate area. And there's snowdrops and there's aconites and stuff like that. But yeah, more of that sort of thing everywhere. And I think eventually it'd be nice to put some in the actual woodland now. It's starting to bulk out and become more covered. I think you'd be able to get bluebells going in there now, and then you can just about them.
Love a big old carpet full of bluebells in the woods. Nothing better, is there?
There's nothing better, especially when you go to these old stately homes and they've got ones that have been going for nearly 100 years, and they're
just as far as I can see, just blue. Yeah, it's lovely.
Like something out of another world, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't see who's talking on there. I'm going to lose it now.
Jenny and Joe.
How is it?
Joe said, I've got some red tulips that have come up every year in my front garden for 27 years and I never planted them. They were here when I moved in.
Are they the species ones then?
Probably. Yeah, it's like the more original ones, isn't it?
Mm.
There are some that you can do, that you can buy that are reliably perennial, and I think a lot more catalogues are actually putting in the description that they're perennial, so people know that they're more reliable.
Yeah.
And I think that you probably can get quite a good display of, but they're not going to be as fancy as the ones that are literally like 1 year's worth.
No. But they're so expensive as well, just to put in for 1 year, aren't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like doing an entire planting scheme, and that's it. The year we did it at work, and it was like absolutely like chock-a-block with tulips. That was, I can't even remember how much it was, but it was thousands and thousands of bulbs. So it's probably, £500 worth of bulbs back then. So it'd probably be £1,000 worth now to just do that, and that's it.
Did they many of them come back next year, or did you see a noticeable difference?
Probably half.
Bloody hell.
And then they've just slowly faded out less and less every year.
Yeah. But it's only tulips, really, isn't it? Most daffs are all right. They'll keep coming back and back, won't they?
Daffs are reliable, alliums are reliable. Hyacinths tend to come back most years, maybe slightly smaller than the first year. But yeah, most other bulbs, it's only really tulips which are completely unreliable.
Yeah.
But they're just, they are a wow factor if you get an en masse planting scheme of different colours and stuff, isn't it? But yeah, I certainly wouldn't be doing it every year. Far too much money. And even the florists, when they use a tulip as a cut flower, they pull the bulb out. So they don't even the florists don't reuse them. So it's a blooming expensive cut flower.
Yeah. 33 pence a bulb each, at least.
Yeah. Whereas how much is a packet of seed for, an entire bed full of flowers.
Yeah, £2.
Compare, does it?
No,
And they don't last that long as a cut flower either.
but they've been worked a lot, haven't they? From when they were, I suppose, sown from seed. They must be sown from seed originally. So I reckon they must be 4 or 5 years old by the time we get the tulips.
Yeah, I mean, they are worth the money. But yeah, it's a lot. It's an expensive game.
That tulip field for charity round near us is unbelievable. But that's the ones they put there are the year before they go into the shops. So they must build up, and then all of a sudden they get to 4 or 5 years, and then they hit the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they might even do like split the bulb, so they have the tiny little bulb, and then grow that bulb on until it gets bigger, and then that's when.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get our guest in, because we could be talking bulbs with her.
Yeah. So tonight's guest started her horticulture career tending to a bowling green. She's gone on to be a project manager and presenter on BBC Garden Rescue, a researcher for BBC Gardeners World, has her own podcast and has written for numerous publications, and is now a garden guru, consultant and coach. It is, of course, Kate Turner at KT Gardener Guru.
Hello.
Hello.
Evening.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
Not bad. What about you? You right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, bit blowy today here in Devon, but
yeah, I bet.
it's quite dramatic because I've got a sea view, so I've been wet, so that's makes it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Waves.
Waves are amazing.
What's your take on tulips then, Kate? Well, we've been talking about them.
I'm a bit of a sucker for a tulip, I have to admit. I get that they're expensive, but they just give me that little bit of joy, I just, and the colours are just amazing. And, you can take so long to grow beautiful flowers, and I know seed packets are cheap, but a lot of people, and actually tulips can be, they can be a lot cheaper, easier to look after. But I try to bring them back each year. So I had some Queen of the Night in my old garden that kept coming back for about 6 years. I just made sure I really mulched the area. I'm an absolute massive mulch fan. I'm queen of mulch. So I just mulched them really well and then fed them after they'd flowered, and never ever cut them down to about 8 weeks. And they don't last as a cut flower, but there's some of those colours you just don't see them in any other kind of flower. I am a sucker, but at the moment I just don't have a garden big enough for them, so I've gone for my favourite, which are little iris reticulatas. They're so pretty, and they just make me smile, when they come up in February. And a bit like me, they're quite short, a little bit stocky. They just keep coming back. They're fighters, whatever the weather or life throws at them, up they come. And I feel a bit like that. I'm not a tulip. I am a short, dumpy iris.
Do you notice that they multiply at all?
No, but mainly that's because I grow them in pots. Because at the moment, I'm by the seaside, so I've got a coastal kind of urban garden, which I'm not used to at all. So I've got a small veg area, which I keep going, but mostly I grow in pots. But I've got really kind of big wide pots. So I kind of dig them up, I save them, and then I just replant them, and that seems to work for me. But I've only been in this garden a couple of years, so we'll see what happens. But with all this rain, I'm a bit worried about bulbs in pots, because if there's one thing they don't like is getting soggy. And I've not even planted my tulips yet, because for tulips you have to hang fire. And with this wet weather, I think a lot of people who planted early tulips in lasagna planting might not suffer, because they hate the wet. They really, really do. So yeah, I'm hanging fire a bit for a bit more cold weather before my tulips go.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot, have we? We've only had a few frosts so far. So
I have it in Devon. Everybody says move to Devon. It's always warm. Everything survives out the whole winter. We had one day of frost, which we didn't get last year, and all my gorgeous echeveras have just just died.
Oh, no.
Really pissed off because everybody lied to me.
everybody,
Ivan.
everybody seems to be so scared about planting bulbs a bit later.
Yeah, I know.
Desperate to get me now, but I've planted. Oh God, I've planted mine
January.
way into January, and they've been really good.
Yeah, the only thing is if you buy them too early and you leave them somewhere where it's a bit warm, and then they'll start growing or they go a bit soggy. But absolutely, and I think, you know, come January, and even to get away from the madness that is Christmas sometimes, you know, when you think there's not a lot to do, just, you know, leave everybody in the house watching Only Fools and Horses and go and plant some bulbs, you know, and work off some of that Christmas dinner. You know, what a lovely thing to do on a sunny Boxing Day, plant some bulbs. That's what I do.
Yeah, sounds really good. Might do that this year.
I've got an important job to do.
Exactly. It needs to be done now. Boxing Day is the tradition.
Kate said, let's make Boxing Day bulbing. I don't know. Bulging. I could go on about bulbs forever.
Yeah, they are lovely. I love snowdrops. Are my absolute favourite. I'm not going to say I'm a galanthrophile yet, but I'm on the way. I love them. You know, every year I buy myself a couple of nice ones.
Yeah.
And a few more, just, you know, standard ones. But I'm getting a nice little collection up now.
Nice. Come on, what's the most you've ever spent on a snowdrop?
£50.
We won't tell anybody. I think we can say you're a galanthrophile. I really do.
And it's beautiful. It's my golden fleece.
Oh, I know. But, you know, other people spend money on, you know, champagne, cars and, you know, loose women. You know you're a gardener when ...
Exactly. Yeah, I love the snowdrops. And like I said earlier, I was mowing the lawn and picking the leaves up, and they're all under my apple tree. And
I'm jealous. Now
I went when I was, you know, all the leaves were gone. I went and had a look and thought, is that a little tip starting to come through? So, But now it's this point. As soon as because we've got puppies at the moment, they'll all be gone next week.
Oh, gorgeous!
We've got 7 fox red Labradors.
Oh my goodness me! Oh,
yeah, it's mayhem at the moment. Absolute mayhem.
When are they going?
Where did you say?
When will they be gone?
The first one's going on Sunday.
Oh, right.
2 Sunday, 2 Monday, 1 Tuesday, and then the other one on Thursday. So, yeah.
Oh, you get your garden back. Stop digging.
Get the garden back, so I can just keep that. I just keep that area free from now on. I don't let the dogs on it. I don't let. You know, that's my snowdrop.
Yeah, no, keep off.
Definitely, especially when my golden fleece is coming up. But so this will be the 3rd year I've had my golden fleece. Last year that had already doubled. So
that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, exactly. In the first year it doubled.
Oh, and bluebells as well. I love bluebells, English bluebells.
Yeah, bluebells. I got aconites come up round there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to live in Surrey, and there was amazing carpets of bluebells, just beautiful. But even actually in Devon, up on Dartmoor, they have fields of bluebells, which I'd never seen before. I've only ever seen bluebells in woodland, and these were on the side of the moor, and I couldn't believe it. I'm going to the pictures next year because it was stunning, absolutely stunning. Like full sun, which, you know,
that's what I was just thinking. Normally they're like a bit of shade.
I know, full sun, and on the side of the hills up on the moor, just absolutely incredible. Never seen anything like it.
Wow.
They can't have even used to have been a woodland if it's a moor. It's not like the trees have been cut down.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But no, I think they've it's always been like that for years. So, they weren't the Spanish bluebells, which I don't like. So is it Jenny saying, Yeah. We're old English.
There's a lot about, aren't there? There's a lot of Spanish ones about, like Jenny says.
They shouldn't be selling them at all. We really shouldn't. But people don't know. They're just buying a bulb. They don't really know what they've got. Naughty.
Exactly. Yeah. And they plant them in the garden and think, look at all my bluebells.
No.
Oh dear. I love hyacinths as well. Some people don't like them, but I love the fragrance.
Do you?
Lovely. When they're all up in the garden, you walk around and you think, oh yeah, they're absolutely beautiful.
They are the blousy maiden aunt of the bluebell.
I can't remember the names, but there's some apricot coloured ones.
Oh, okay.
And
Apricots.
they're fantastic.
Yeah. Last year as well, like the apricot cosmos was really
Yeah.
this year. I tried to grow it, but it doesn't seem to like pots too much. But yeah, I'm learning what really does do well in pots this year. Really learning. The big learning curve, but it's quite fun.
So you're growing everything in pots then?
Apart from my veg, I've got a small area of veg, and then I've got a pond area where I've got some shrubs and a few border plants, but mostly it's all container gardening. But luckily, because I do some work and companies, I get to try all the peat-free compost. So at least I don't have to spend too much money. I've got a small compost bin that I use. I'm trying to make the most of every inch, but we had rats last year, which was not much fun. In a small garden as well, so yeah, I had to kind of just use the kitchen bin a bit more. I like growing in pots because you can really experiment and try different compost, try different plants. But this summer, because of the drought, it was quite hard keeping up, but I really got to find what worked and what didn't, what helps with peat-free growing, because it can be tough.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Also, are they all nice terracotta ones and clay pots?
No. I wish. No, it's pretty much because I've kind of been around a while gardening life, but done lots of work for different people. So I always kind of, when we do film shoots or magazine shoots or website shoots, I tend to go and buy all the pots and plants or whatever, and then they're just kind of left. So them home with me, so I've got a bit of a mismatch of pots. So I would love to have some gorgeous big terracotta ones, but I've got a bit of everything. I've tried a lot of the recycled plastic ones, the Elho ones, and I've also got a balcony, so I'm experimenting with the really lightweight ones because I'm growing grass on my balcony because I'm by the sea, so you get that low with the grasses. And I've got some big plastic Elho recycled troughs. They seem to do quite well. So I put some down for the spring, so hopefully they'll survive the wind because it blows.
Brilliant. I only said that because the terracotta and clay pots are even worse to keep moist, aren't they, in the summer?
I would always recommend lining them with an old compost bag, and that help as long as you've got holes in it and stuff, and don't put it in the bottom. But if you line it, that just helps. But have it the black side out, because otherwise it can get too warm. And it's always finding things as well to do with a compost bag is always quite fun, right, what can I do with this compost bag? So lining your terracotta pots help. The are better, the recycled plastic ones are better, but they can sweat a bit as well. But being lightweight as well helps. I've got arthritis in my hand, which does come to a lot of us gardeners. So lifting things, I need to be able to lift them quite easily.
Right, yeah.
Getting old.
Aren't we all? Don't worry, Kate.
I tried to go back to being a gardener this summer, and I had carpal tunnel surgery quite a few, about 10 or maybe longer years ago, and now just my arthritis because of that is just too bad. I really miss that everyday gardening in different people's gardens. I do miss it, but I just can't do it anymore, unfortunately, like you do every day. I miss that. I was a head gardener. I was a head gardener at a big public school many years ago, and I did love that. That was good fun. Hard work though, and I was amongst a load of groundsmen who didn't like being told what to do by a woman. That could be quite interesting.
I bet you got some stories about that. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So let's like every good gardening podcast, let's start from the beginning. Where did your love from gardening come from?
Yeah, we've been I hate it really. No, guys, I'm not like one of these people that talks about, they remember their grandparents taking them around the allotment, smelling the tomatoes, that kind of thing. Not at all. I grew up in the country. A lot of people don't think Surrey as being the country, but there are some really beautiful parts to it, and I was very lucky. So I lived amongst the fields, but I just couldn't wait to get to London. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to get to London, be an actor, did drama, dance, hung out with musicians, had a bit of a blast, and then changed and I moved to Scotland, fell in love with Scotland. Long story short, I was told I could never have children, and I just thought, right, I need to change things. And it's like, if I can't have children, I'm going to grow plants. And that's where it all came from. And my first ever job was as a volunteer cutting down rhododendron ponticum up in Scotland, the invasive rhododendron. And I did a bit of that. And I moved down to Brighton, got married. Don't know why. Went through IVF, all these awful things. And then I moved out of my marital home and I lived in a camper van on the side of a park in Brighton. It's quite a common thing to do. If you know Brighton, you know, it's not that odd a thing to do. But anyway, and I became a parkie, and I just kind of learned everything as a park keeper. You know, from doing the bowling greens, I loved the swishing off the dew, me on the tennis courts, and I just learned on the job and fell in love with it. I really did. And then just from then on, I just, as much as I could, learnt, did a few qualifications, and then I became a gardener at this public school called Charterhouse. And their head gardener at the time had been off long-term sick, and the guy who was acting head gardener was supposed to be going to an agricultural college, learning, getting a qualification, and he wasn't going. They found out a bit later that he was, you know, just blagging off for the day once a week.
No way.
College to get this qualification. I don't know what he was doing, and so they suddenly put me in charge. I became acting head gardener, and that's when I just loved it. And I was really lucky because this school had one of the first ever borders designed by Gertrude Jekyll. Really long. There wasn't much left, and also a summer house by Edward Lutyens, because in that area, the kind of Godalming area of Surrey, is Munstead Wood, is where kind of Jekyll first started. And we had a really wonderful time of trying to go back to being a bit more Gertrude Jekyll. We opened for the National Garden Scheme, and I just had a blast. I really, really did. It was tough work. And then I got pregnant after being told I could never, ever have a kid. So I did really well in my career. I got pregnant. I had to stop driving my tractor, which I loved because it was just up and down. And yeah, so I had my lovely little boy Jerry, who was born very premature, but he's a strapping 21-year-old drummer, heavy thrash metal drummer. So I took a bit of time out to look after him because he needed it, and I needed that time with him. And then I moved to the Midlands, and they were looking for people to work on Gardener's World. And they were in Birmingham at the time. And because in my previous life as an actor, I'd done things with telly and I kind of knew what was needed. I remember in my, when I applied, I just said, you have to know how to make a good cup of tea, you know, and know how to hang around. And I think they thought, yeah, so you had to do a written test on horticulture. Yeah, and I got the job. Oldest runner in town, you know, mostly runners are like 18 and 30s. But yeah, that was the Toby Buckland year where it all went horribly wrong. But I loved it, you know, I learned a lot. I drove all around the country meeting all these people in their amazing gardens. Yeah, so it was great. It was a great learning curve, and there were some incredible people there. There really were some really clever horticulturists. It was an interesting place to be. Quite cutthroat, like most TV can. Yeah, so, and then I was really lucky. I moved down and I started up a community garden for 12 years. I lived in a park. My ex-partner was a grounds manager of all the parks in this place called Surrey Heath, and we lived in a tithe accommodation. And there was a decrepit playground next to our garden, and instead of them rebuilding it, I said, look, you know, you got loads of stuff for footballers, kids, there's nothing for the community. And we got a grant from Marks and Spencer's, and we built a community garden, and I ran that on and off for 12 years, with all sorts of different groups, people with learning disabilities, kids with autism, ADHD, childminders. It was really, really good. But then in order to make money, I'd go off and do my TV work, my TV contracts, and then come back and run sessions and things like that. So yeah, it's been quite varied. And that's
very varied.
The recent thing was working for Miracle Grow, and that's where the name Garden Guru came from, because I do find it a bit cringy at times, but they were advertising for a gardener guru to work for Evergreen, Miracle Grow and Levington during lockdown, and I was on furlough from my other job as a horticultural therapist, and the office was 5 minutes from where I lived, and it was just like, wow, yeah, it's meant to be. So yes, so I worked with them. So that's how I kind of got into compost, the peat-free compost. I love making my own. I absolutely do. You know, I had to be careful sometimes with what I said to people when I worked for Miracle Grow. It's like, don't buy it, make your own. But a lot of people can't make their own, you know. We see Monty Dunn always telling us, but, you know, he's got a massive garden, massive bays of compost and people to do it for him. So if you can't, the next best thing is making sure you use a good brand that are really trying hard to be free and good for the planet. So yes, I've been corporate, which was a whole new thing for me, you know, sitting through 6 hours Zoom meetings and talking about ideation. You know, I was just like, whoa, I don't know what that is, but you know, yeah, so that's me really. And then they made me redundant, the bastards. But actually I think it was a good thing, because I moved to Devon and I work as a consultant. Phil and I, who I run the Underground podcast with, so Phil is a marketing agency that do videos for Miracle Grow, and that's how we met, by doing website. And and we just got on, so we thought we'd still like to work together. But our podcast is so much more about the industry, the retail. Maybe wants to get work out of people. So, but I'd quite like to start talking to more gardeners myself. And I just want to get people gardening. I missed out on the whole social media thing. I really, really did. I was off doing something else when it all exploded. But I love in the community that has been built, because you do get lonely as a gardener. When I was a head gardener, I had 2 people with me, but it was such a massive estate. We'd all be off different areas, and the groundsman didn't want to talk to us anyway. And then I worked as a jobbing gardener. You know, your clients sometimes can be in their 80s, and they do want to talk to you, but sometimes they'll talk so much you can't get on with your work. But most, you know, it can be lonely. So I really enjoyed working as a team. That was quite fun with Miracle Grow. You know, I'd never done that before. I'd never had a Christmas party where it wasn't just me and my dog.
Or a biscuit.
Pulling a cracker together. But what I love, I'm going on a bit, but the thing about my career is I've often done talks to young people about how varied horticulture is and how people can be so rude about being a gardener. And I remember David Cameron, I don't know if you remember, years ago when he was in power, he, you know, said to people, you must go to university or you'll end up as a bin man or a gardener. And you're just like, oh my God, you know, there's, you know, being a gardener is a great thing. If being a jobbing gardener, that's still a great thing. But it's not just about gardening. You know, the botanical scientists, the people I've met, you know, the TV work is fun. You know, it's tiring, but it's good fun. There's so many more things out there than just mowing and strimming. And you know, we just need more gardeners, and we need horticulture to be taken seriously. And I love what Lee Connolly is doing to try and get children's gardening. Yeah. You know, really, really, you know, he's great. He really is. And I wish I'd kind of done a bit more when I was kind of a little bit younger. But he's great. Yes. So I think social media is amazing because it's showing people that gardening is actually really cool, and people like yourselves with your friendships and your humor are really kind of opening gardening up to so many more people. It's brilliant. It's joyous. And I love that. And I just kind of wish I'd known about it, but I was a total Luddite. I really, really was. I still am. My son just cringes at me when I'm trying to do things, and I shout at my phone all the time. So yeah, I've done courses and I'm still crap. I tried Reels Rockstar and I just can't remember anything that they taught me at all. I'm not good with just talking to a phone and me. You know, I like people. I thrive off other people. I'll run workshops for 200 people without blinking. But when it comes to just me and a phone and singing in my greenhouse, that's just
definitely not everything, that's for sure.
No, but there's some amazing people out there. There's also some terrible stuff out there as well, and I watch things and I cringe. I just cringe.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. But I try not to be snobby at all about it, but there are things you just wish people weren't. People come back and tell me, "Oh no, but so and so said on Instagram you should do it like this." I'm like, no.
I know. Sometimes you see these people with big accounts, and you're thinking, "Why are you telling all these people this?"
I know.
But if you say to them or try to put them right, you'll just get slammed. So
yeah,
don't say a thing.
Jealous or whatever. I need to be a grumpy gardener or something on Instagram. It's like neem oil. Neem oil was hailed as the kind of revolution for everything to do with pests and disease, but it's just as bad for your plants, for wildlife, for anything as an insecticide that you can buy. I don't use pesticides myself, but people often have the wrong information about so many things. And it's just trying to get it out there, isn't it? I've always meant to do a myth busting kind of series with Miracle Grow, and I'd still like to do that. Pouring vinegar. Do put vinegar on your garden. Don't use a weed killer. Use vinegar and bleach. It's like stop that.
Chuck the salt everywhere. That'll work. That won't do any damage whatsoever.
No, of course not. Maybe that's what we should do, a myth busting series.
Definitely. There's so many myths that need busting though. There's so many. It's unbelievable.
I know. One I loved was putting an ice cube on your orchid plant on the soil to water your orchids. It's like that might work in tropical Singapore or whatever, but you do it here, that orchid is not going to be happy at all. Well, absolutely. Your son talking about poinsettias, all these supermarkets that are selling them right by the doors every time it's open. And the thing is, you'll get them home and then all the leaves will fall off and you'll be like,
what did I do wrong?
But yeah,
you would think
that's my short story.
You would think the nurseries where the poinsettias come from would tell these shops, don't do it.
But they wouldn't buy them. Thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
making money, isn't it? But people they treat poinsettias as animals. I see Mr. Plantgeek's pushing the poinsettias again this year. There are some incredible ones around. There really are. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan, have to admit.
It was him who started it a couple of years back with all the pink and the cream ones.
And the speckled
ones. His fault.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I don't mind them coloured ones. I don't like the red velvet looking things.
I see. I'm the opposite. I love the good old traditional red, but I think that's my mum, and she always had the two big red poinsettias, and then she'd try and keep it going till next year, and she'd come up with this stick, and Kate, you're a gardener.
Sort this out.
Oh no, I didn't know they were poisonous to dogs. I've never known my dog never tried to eat one, but thing is, there's so many plants that are poisonous too. But I
tell me about it.
Wouldn't have anything in my garden, but my last.
But that's the thing. I've had these puppies running around the garden now for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
What can you do? There's every single plant out there. I can't go pulling them all out. Just if I see one with some leaf in its mouth, I have to just go and take it out.
So I used to have my gorgeous little dog who I lost last year. I still miss so much. He just was not an eater. He wouldn't chew anything at all apart from food, obviously, but no, he wasn't interested in plants. But then I looked after a little puppy. I was training up to be a hearing dog for the deaf. And she quite liked a lot of my houseplants. So yeah, I mean, you have to be careful, but generally I find, you know, most plants you're going to be okay with, you know. But it's just being comfortable, isn't it? It really is.
Gotta do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was people panicking, ringing me. You know, I've got foxglove in my garden. We're all going to die. So no, we're fine. I've never known a dog eat a foxglove, but you know, there probably is somebody out there. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Dogs don't eat food, really, don't they? They might try something, but they won't go back to it.
No.
Saying this, I'm going to get now.
They know, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
What about your little veg plot there? You keep mentioning it.
It is little, but I cram everything in. So, you know, I try and do, when you've got a small space, you just have to throw the rule book out the window. One of those. You can't live by the rule book. So I've done a bit of Three Sisters planting with the sweet corn, the squash and the beans. And that's always worked quite well for me. I've got a very sunny garden, so I'm quite lucky. Tomatoes are a no because of blight, absolute nightmare, and that's really annoying because I love my tomatoes. Courgettes, again, I grew one courgette in a pot and one courgette in the ground, and the difference was incredible. It really was. And I've always told people to grow courgettes in pots, and I had probably 4 times the harvest from the one in the ground. That was a big difference. I mean, I had a few in the pot, but it was nothing like it. And I grow a lot of pollinators plants as well, because not only do I want my insects to come, but I also, in a small garden, I want pretty. And my favorite thing this year that has been amazing is the black-eyed Susan, you know, the climbing, the annual, the Thunbergia. And you know, I've still got flowers on that, and it's been flowering since June, and that's just seeds. And I just think that is amazing. What we were talking about, you know, about cost effectiveness. Literally, I had seeds, I had seedlings. I grew one in a pot. I'm pointing out here. My balcony's that way. You don't know that. One in a pot that has done really well, but the one against the back wall in my veg plot, it's just been incredible, just beautiful, and just these gorgeous, shiny, summery little yellow flowers, and the fact that they're still there. And then it has, have you ever grown one of these?
No.
Seed pods are the rudest things I've ever seen. I've got to let know, because they're like I'll have to send you a picture, but they basically look like a willy and 2 testicles. They're I've ever seen. Tiny. I was like, what is it? And it's the seed pods. So it's just, to me, it's a win. Okay, I can't eat it, but you know, the insects love it, and it's still going strong now.
Brilliant.
Always wanted to grow them, and I've never grown them, but this year, and I'm lucky because the neighbour has an amazing wisteria, so and it climbs over into my garden, so I have this fantastic wisteria, and then once that died down, the little black-eyed Susan just went mad. I got blackberries. I've got my rhubarb died, which was, I mean, who's rhubarb? For goodness sake. I don't know. Possibility maybe rats were digging at the roots. I don't know, but it just died on me, and I love rhubarb, so that was a real shame. Potatoes, I know they take up a lot of space, but I still get that thrill, you know, from teaching children gardening.
Yeah.
Their favourite thing is digging for treasure, isn't it? And I kind of still get that absolute thrill. But I always grow something a bit unusual variety, just because, you know, it's more fun, isn't it? A good old pink fir, or a blue, what's the blue one? Can't remember. That's good fun as well. I'm trying to get my son to eat vegetables is always a nightmare. So anything a bit unusual or a bit fun always got him eating. Can't grow brassicas. Can't grow them just because of the cabbage white. I've never known anything like it this year. It was just fabulous. I know you should fleece them, but again, keep harping on about having a small garden. But when you've got a small garden, you just don't want to see it all covered in a bit of fleece. So you know, that's my wildlife garden. But the kale's coming back. My curly kale is starting to grow back again, and the caterpillars aren't around now, so hopefully I might get some Christmas dinner. But I was supposed to have had a lovely allotment site, and that all went tits up, unfortunately, last year. So I've got my name down for another one, but the waiting lists are huge. But trying to sell houses on the market because I need a garden. I really, really miss that. I do swim. I'm one of those nutters now that swims in the sea all year round. Never thought.
Oh.
And I do love that. I love that buzz, but I also like the coffee and pastries afterwards a bit more, maybe. I miss the birds. I miss the birds. I've got seagulls here, really loud, bloody seagulls. And they scare everything away. So really want to move so I can get the birds back in and just really get digging again. Well, no dig, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just sit out with a cup of tea, you know. I mean, I sit out with a cup of tea and I've got a sea view, but I've also got a hell of a lot of houses in between me and the sea. So yeah, having that going out in the garden, inspecting everything, whatever the weather, whatever day, for my mental health, I definitely need to be growing, and not just in pots as well. Yeah.
You think you'll stay in the same area but just move inland more?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I do love it here. I mean, I've only been here 3 years, but I do love it. It's a fabulous place, Devon. It really is. It's really beautiful. Seems to be a long way from anywhere, but I've made some lovely friends, and as I said, I love the sea and I love Dartmoor. Dartmoor is really special, and there's some really interesting gardens and quite a few gardeners. In fact, Toby Buckland lives just down my road. Francis Tophill is going to come cold water swimming with me. So she cold water swims, and she has her partner lives in Dawlish. So there's quite a few gardeners around that are mad. And I think once it gets you the cold water swimming in Devon, you can't. I don't stay in for long. It is just literally this time of year, a run in, scream, kind of run out again. But whilst I can't get my gardening hit, I'll have the cold water hit. But I think once I get a bigger garden, I'd spend more time gardening than I would in the sea, I must admit. Yeah.
So tell us about when you do get your bigger garden. Have you got any designs in your head already? What you'd like?
I've got so many. Many. Oh, yes, they are. Linton and Lynmouth, beautiful. I'm South Devon, though, I'm afraid, not North Devon, but yeah, North Devon's beautiful. I want a little orchard. I won't be able to afford a massive place, but North Devon actually is a wee bit cheaper than South Devon, so I might go up that way. But I need some fruit trees. I really miss. I've got fruit trees in pots, but again, it's not the same. It doesn't matter what anybody says. And I do boast it, but I know how to look after plants in pots, and you just don't get that harvest. You really don't, and that blossom. So I definitely want a little orchard with some wildflowers and bulbs, carpeting. But really, I think it's very much when you move to somewhere, I don't want to have any preconceptions. I want to grow veg. I want to have compost. I want to have a small wildflower lawn, and I want to have some apple trees. But it's kind of, what will that garden be like? And just sit with it and be with it and get to know it. I think that's important. The one thing I would definitely say is I would never move anywhere that has a load of artificial grass. I think it's awful, but just trying to get rid of it. It's happened to my brother and his partner. Trying to get rid of a whole load of artificial grass is really, really hard. But apart from that, the wilder the better. I think the more of a challenge, the more fun. But yeah, I know what I'd like. But I change all the time. It's like someone asked me what's your favorite plant. You ask me that next week, it'll change. I really, really do. I just love nature and what it can throw at you. So apart from, I want to grow my own food again properly, so I can try and be as sustainable as possible. I'd love to have chickens again. I really would. Having chickens, miss that. but apart from that, you know, being able to pick my own food. And also another thing I would like, actually, she keeps saying, is foliage for Christmas wreaths, because I really miss not being able to go out in the garden and just pick what I need, you know. So I'd probably grow things like pittosporums and some viburnums, those kind of things, and make sure it's got ivy, that kind of thing. So I've got enough that I can do. I won't run anymore again. I ran them for about 12 years, but now everybody's running Christmas wreath workshops, and moss is becoming a real problem now because it's not got sustainably, and people are just going out to forests and Dartmoor and raking it up and selling it in bags.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a real shame, but I've been doing it for long enough now. I can just stop. I've been doing it with friends. I do it for Miracle Grow's office. But yeah, I've been doing my own today, and I realised all I had that looked nice from my own garden was eucalyptus. But apart from that, I had to go to other people's gardens and the hedgerows and places. I mean, hedgerows is great. It's great fun to go foraging, but on a day like today, when it's blowing a hoolie and, you know, you look like you've stepped in the shower fully clothed, I'll be able to nip out into my garden and snip a few bits off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got no preconceptions. I want to be surprised, I think, and it will evolve. I worked on, you know, garden rescue, and I worked on Love Your Garden, which is all about creating instant impact. You know, this is what we do, a design, put it all in, bish bosh. I want things to evolve. I want wherever I'm going to move, if I ever move, to kind of teach me, to tell me what it wants. I want the garden to speak to me. Obviously, if it's complete hard landscape, that's going to be harder. But I just want to have as few pots as possible.
Done with pots now.
Do you think you'll do the whole thing of leaving it a year and seeing what happens, what pops up?
I'd love to say yes. I'd love to say yes, Jamie, but I probably won't. I probably won't do. I think it depends what time of year you move. You know, if you move in spring and you see there's no bulbs, then that is definitely something I would do. In the autumn, I'd get bulbs. But yeah, I think I will try really hard, and I would have a little area that would be a veg garden so I can grow my veg. But for the rest of it, I want to wait and see what the kind of local climate is, because wherever you live, you know, it's going to be different. Even in Devon, yes, it's windier, yes, it's wetter, but you move somewhere north, it can be colder, you can get a frost pocket. It's finding out what your local climate is, and a lot of people are too impatient to, you know, things in and just don't quite see what happens. And I'll chuck some wildflower seeds, or even looking at what kind of weeds grow will tell you a lot about and your climate conditions as well. So let's see what weeds move in the winter. I'll wait and see what weeds come up, you know. Let the garden tell you. And I just, you know, that's a nice way to be. I'm really impatient now, I know that, but and because I've got apple trees and things in pots, I will want to get them in the ground. That is what I'll do. But even if it means they're just kind of healed in for a while, then I do that. But I just think we can all be a bit too impatient just to kind of change things to how we want them, to kind of maybe tell you a bit about what they want. Yeah,
definitely.
Maybe I'm going off on one.
I tell you what, I just
next year, and I'll say, right, I've done this, I've done that. I've got to have a pond.
Got to have a pond.
Got to have a pond, yeah. But I want a big pond, you know. I want a big pond.
Proper pond.
A proper wildlife pond this time.
Yeah, lovely.
I've got newts. I've got a tiny pond and I've got newts in it, which is really just shows you. But I want to see the frogs. I really want. I love frogs. Just love frogs, and I love watching dragonflies. There's just nothing quite like that. And watching the black come and drink and have a little wash in the pond. Oh God, I'm going to start getting really depressed now. Because we put the house on the market and been told it's the worst time in 10 years to try and sell it.
Oh no.
Yeah. But we do have amazing sea views, so you know, not many people can have the sort of view we've got. So
that'll sway it for you.
Well, it should. And a massive garage. big garage, so anybody with lots of cars or a small business.
Sells itself.
There you go. And what I just found interesting, and I didn't know about, just backpedaling a little bit, when you just said that about the moss, people going up to the moors and just raking off
Yeah,
all the moss. So
and
surely we started using moss to stop that awful oasis stuff,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
and now it's just sounds like it's going the wrong way.
It's such a shame. There was a time when blackberry picking became kind of the thing, and then you'd get literally gangs, and they would take every single blackberry, and then they'd be sold or whatever. And it seems to be happening with moss now in a lot of the auction sites like eBay. You're just really careful of who you buy it from, and they're just going to deplete the woodland floors of the moss that's been growing there for years. And on Dartmoor, there's not as many trees as there used to be, but there's an amazing woodland, and it's being destroyed by the forest floor by people.
Oh God!
Yeah, I know.
Can't win. Yeah, this. Oh,
As soon as something becomes popular, you've got to be so careful, haven't you? I mean,
yeah.
I love moss. I love that feel and the smell, and I've used it because I've got it from a friend's wall.
Mm.
We're very damp here in Devon, so moss and lichen grows beautifully. So I've got enough friends where I can get it from. But to do it on, I mean, I would do maybe 60 to 70 wreaths a year. That's big bags of moss that
Yeah.
and then suddenly you're not quite sure where it's coming from. So I've stopped this year.
That's a shame.
There are sustainable. There really are, and places that grow moss specifically for this.
Yeah.
But when you think sphagnum moss becomes peat, and how long it takes to grow and how long it takes to decompose, we don't want to be going from one problem to another.
No.
Yeah.
And all these people which are swapping over from oasis to moss think, oh, we're doing a good thing.
Doing the good thing.
Yeah.
And on a smaller scale you are. It's just when suddenly so many people are running wreath workshops. It's not so much the ones you buy at garden centres, because they tend not to use moss because it adds the price up. But a lot of these kind of, shall we say, ladies at lunch that sounds terrible. I've never been a lady that lunch, even if people think I was. But you do get the ladies that lunch that do a course, Sarah Raven course or something like that.
Yeah.
Charge a lot of money, and they have these beautiful, wonderful moss. And some of the garden centres, I don't know if you've seen them, not only do they have moss and you don't know where it's come from, but they sell it in polystyrene boxes. So, that's a double whammy. Having said that, I have used those polystyrene boxes when I couldn't get moss anywhere else, and they're brilliant for growing salad crops in the winter because they're well insulated.
Yeah.
So, they can be reused up to a point, and then what do you do with it? So I haven't bought them in a few years, but when I did, and I didn't really know much different, then yeah. But yeah, I mean, this year I've used straw. Dry bracken is a really good one. What did you use, Mark? You were making one.
I didn't use anything. I just used a willow wreath and then pushed the foliage into it.
Yeah, and they last, don't they? They last for ages.
Well, my ones that I did last year were still looking good in March.
Oh, wow.
It didn't go bad at all, so
so
shows.
We don't even need it. I mean, Lidl was selling them on basic straw, which I thought was really quite good. That's quite no wire, not wire rings or anything, just on a straw ring. Good price as well. So no
moss. Those straws are scarcity this year because of how dry it's been.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
See, can't do anything, can we? Dried bracken. There's a lot of it on Dartmoor. Yeah. But then you'll end up with people
trimming all that off.
I used newspaper one year. I used dampened newspaper that I fixed.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tell everybody that'll do.
Who has newspapers anyway?
Go out and buy your newspapers.
Trees, don't use newspaper. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We can't win.
You certainly have to fight your battles, I think, sometimes, Gardeners, we do come under a lot of stick, I find, being told don't do this, don't use that, don't use this product. And yes, there are people who garden and it's not a garden, it's got artificial grass, it's got fake plants, that's not a garden, it's got a massive barbecue, and you know, it's an entertainment space. But most gardeners, I think, try really hard, and everything we do, you know, is making a difference up to a point. But to be constantly being told you shouldn't be doing this, you should be growing that, it you know, it can feel really demoralizing, and I don't want to put people off gardening. So although I like to try and be eco, I will use peat free, just because I've seen the devastation caused to landscapes that have been farmed for peat for years, and when you see a restored peat, the difference is just this, you know, it really does open your eyes, it really does. But I just want people to garden. I want people to grow plants. And if they're going to grow begonias and busy lizzies, then fine. But maybe let's try and then encourage them to grow something else that might bring in a pollinator. But just applaud that at least they're getting out there and gardening. And I must admit, I find Gardener's World can be a little bit preachy at times. I get a bit cross sometimes with how preachy they can be, and it puts people off gardening sometimes. But,
I very rarely watch Gardener's World anymore.
yeah, I know. I find it hard. Yeah,
I haven't watched it much this series, to be honest. This last series.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gone off the boiler. But I like Frances. I like Frances Topham.
Yeah,
I think she's a good woman.
Brilliant.
And because I did watch her on Lovely Garden when she was very young. Hi, Michael. And she really does believe in how she gardens, and she's such a nice woman.
Yeah,
such a lovely woman. Not everybody on that program was lovely, and she was, and she was really young at the time. And now, I mean, she's still really young. Goodness me, she's only mid-30s, and she's lovely. I worked with a couple of people many years ago who were just starting out, mentioning no names, James Wong. Who were so lovely on their first ever day, and then they just get turned into monsters, you know, they really do. So there's a few that started off lovely and just
shame.
It's not so much fame, it's the way the BBC would treat their stars as, you know, they could do no wrong, and you had to just every whim they would get. And I had a funny time with my. I worked on the Hampton Court Flower Show, just almost as his personal assistant. It was just bizarre. And I'm 5 foot nothing, and he's like 8 foot tall. And the first thing he said to me was, "Kate, your main job is to keep awful women away from me." And he was so grumpy and so miserable. And if ever I tell a woman of a certain age that, they hate me, because they all love him, you know. And he was so mean. He really was so mean and rude.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never work for Gardener's World again, will I? Say no,
not now. I've met Alan Frost a couple of times briefly, and he seems like a really genuine person.
Yeah, I only met him once briefly. Just because there was a director who I'd worked with, and he was there, and he seemed a nice chap. Toby Buckland's a lovely chap. A lot are lovely. I mean, Alan Titchmarsh I worked with. I wouldn't say I know him, but he was really good. So we used to have horticultural students come on as runners, love your garden. And he was brilliant with them. He'd get them, you know, he'd be testing them because they'd be going through their qualifications. He was saying, "What's that plant? What do you have to do with it? What's this?" And he really had time for these young students. And he was a hard worker as well. And Charlie Dimmock, she was a really hard worker. She was.
Yeah, I bet.
I did Garden Rescue, two series. I mean, my God, it's on series 20. It's been going nearly 10 years. When we first did it, we thought this will never catch on. It was 20. I mean, there's a lot of sins with that program, but I had a bit of fun. But it was, you know, how not to build a garden in 2 days. It really and we really did just have 2 days to build those gardens. You know, that was it. And it could be absolutely pissing down, and you'd still have to put a patio. And yeah,
everything wrong.
Can you imagine?
Gosh.
Yeah, a nightmare. I mean, we might get three days if it was a bigger garden, and we'd only have the presenters for one of those 2 days. So we'd have
Wow.
fire. We'd want to get something built because we knew it was going to rain, and they say, no, 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 we want to see Charlie or the Rich Brothers do that, and you'd have to hang back, and it was so frustrating. But Charlie was incredible. She absolute workhorse. Well, she really, really was. She was forced to be reckoned with, and she knew her stuff. She really did. I
Yeah.
got nothing
Well,
but
she probably has to know her stuff more than the men because, you know,
yeah.
being a female back then.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, but she really did. And when I was doing it, it was the Rich Brothers, Harry and David, who were quite new on the scene. They were the new young things, and they, you know, they certainly learnt quite a lot from Charlie. Yeah, but she was just so impressive. Yeah, I liked her a lot. But
I can remember Charlie on Ground Force
yeah,
many years ago.
I know.
That was her first gig, wasn't it?
Yeah. Most men do remember her for a couple of reasons.
What, that lovely red curly hair?
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, she's still got that. Yeah, and you know, she's great. She's a really good role model, I think, for you know, a lot of female gardeners around, and she's bloody strong as well. I mean, I've been gardening for 25 years, but I'm quite little, and as I said, my hands are rubbish. But I've never had the strength she had, and she just kept going. She really did. So she really made me keep going. You know, even chucking it down. And we were planting these massive, I think it was silver birch, massive, full-grown silver birch in absolute thunderstorm in this clay soil. It was a nightmare, and she'd be there banging on the stake, really whacking it down, and we'd just be there, and we'd just be covered in mud. Yeah, so yeah, don't build your garden that way, folks.
She used to love a water feature, didn't she? A rill. She used to love making a rill.
That was her background, yeah. So she worked at a water garden nursery, I think, because she's Romsey, Hampshire way, where who are the famous people in Romsey? The garden and the plants, the trees. Oh my God! So I'm getting old. Oh, you would know it. You'd absolutely know it.
Architectural plants.
Sorry.
Architectural plants?
No, I know. Yeah, they're quite near where I used to live. That's an amazing place. No, they've been going for years. It's a big garden, but they always build stuff for Chelsea and things like that. They supply a lot of plants. You'll know it. It's quite famous. Anyway, so she grew up and lived near there. So her main job was working on the water features with the nursery. Yeah. So we built quite a few ponds and quite a few rills. Rill. I love a rill, but you've got to get it right. You've absolutely got to get it right. I mean, I love water features, but they're not easy. We had to go back to a few to repair some of the issues.
Really?
A lovely friend who unfortunately we lost a few years ago. He was my runner. He was an amazing landscaper, and he just wanted to work on telly. He wanted to see what it was all about. So yeah, I come and work with you, Kate, for peanuts and have a bit of fun. And he would often have to go back a few days later to go and repair, redo the pattern, and sort the fence out that had gone like that because of the rain.
Oh no.
Yeah, or the concrete didn't. All these things you don't see on the telly. Yeah. But we really do have that. The time that they say you have was the time. There was no, you know, it's not faked. And often you'd get the director, the producer, dig in holes to put in trees and finish off the barn.
Oh, really?
It was all hands on deck, really. Yeah. And there's never,
brilliant,
you know, real tiny budgets for these programs. But it was good fun, but quite stressful, because if the aggregate didn't turn up on the day that you were filming, you were stuffed, you know.
Yeah.
A lorry got stuck down a little windy lane in Kent. So we had to take the trucks out and go with shovels and literally get off the lorry onto the van.
Wow.
Yes, it was quite fun. I don't think I'd do it again because it frays your nerves. And it's not brain surgery, but the kind of producers treat it a bit like it is, you know, as if it is a thing in the world. And you kind of start to fall out of love with gardening a bit when it's constantly under pressure.
High pressure.
Yeah. And you're planting things where you shouldn't be planting them, or when you shouldn't be planting them, and you're cutting corners. And that didn't always sit well with me, have to admit.
No.
Love Your Garden had a much bigger team, bigger budget, more people, and a bit more time because they were bigger gardens. And so, they were certainly built a lot better. But the Garden Rescue, it really was done on a shoestring.
Wow.
But if anyone gets a chance, get involved, because it certainly is an eye-opener, and it can be good fun. And again, working with a team, which often I say you don't get to do sometimes in horticulture, work as a team. So, it's a different side of gardening, and you learn your plants because you have to. You have to learn them really quickly. So that's a good way.
Definitely.
Yeah. So did you used to get all the plants locally, or did you know beforehand, weeks beforehand, you knew what you wanted, so you could?
No, not weeks beforehand. So we would do a garden. There was a south team and a north team. I was the south team, and we did 10 gardens each for each series. And you do one garden 1 week, then another garden. So the north 1 week, then the south. So I'd get in between a week to order everything, because often the designs would only be finished that week. Ordering.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a fantastic little nursery that I used to use anyway, and I would literally go and fill up my van and put plants in, because the guys would say, I want pink plants, I maybe want a few fuchsias, I maybe want a few of this, and so it'd be up to me to basically find out what was available and get it. There'd be a couple of things that they had, like the Rich brothers wanted 5 big sumacs. And at the time of year, trying to get any that were looking good was a nightmare. So, but mainly it was just me in a sweetie shop choosing plants,
Lovely. With somebody else's money as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't have a great deal of money, but from what most people spend on plants in the garden, it could be a good. Yeah, so I enjoyed that part of it, rushing up and down the nursery. 3 of those, 6 of them, 1 of these. That was good. But then we had to plant that, in half a day. That wasn't so much fun.
No.
And the guys would always want instant impact because it's TV, the producers. I remember the first garden in March, there was nothing in colour. It was a really shit season and really late starting, really, really cold spring. And there was just nothing in flower. And they just said to me, Kate, we need to have stuff in flower. I said, it's March. It's March. Chuck in a load of daffodils if that's what you want. And then they said, we need bigger, bolder. But originally the program was very much supposed to be about how a garden is built, from the kind of people like me, from the landscapers, the project managers side, rather than about the presenters. And it was supposed to be, really building a patio, the hardcore that you need, the skip that you need, all the things that people don't think about, when they how much you're charging, but I've seen that patio in B&Q for 500 quid, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't include the cement, the type 1, all the things that go underneath, and then all the stuff that needs to come out. So it was supposed to be a bit like that, but it didn't. The BBC decided they wanted just more presenters and a bit more fun, and a bit more instant impact planting, which I think was a shame. I get that, but I think they missed a
I've always thought that when you see all these, not just gardening programs but DIY as well, that they do all these things and this costs this much, costs this much to buy, but you've just got that man, that carpenter or that gardener at so many £100 a day, and that's not put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what they were supposed to do, because people whose gardens we built, they paid them some £50, which is that is nothing to rebuild a garden, but the TV company paid for me, the landscapers, the designer, the skip, things like that, all those things. So we paid for that, and then when they did a breakdown, they didn't talk about the extra compost that was bought in, the hardcore that went underneath, the cement that you needed to put up the pergola, the nails, if you've ever built a deck or used good old timber, screws, they cost a fortune. You know, a big pack of, don't realise, you know, 30 quid for a bag of screws. All that adds up when you've got a tiny budget, all that adds up. And they didn't mention that. They just, you know, this pergola costs 200 quid. No, it doesn't.
Right.
Or you get, or we had this wonderful chippy on set called Adam. He was amazing. He was a landscaper as well, but he could, you know, you give him a bit of wood, he'll just build anything with it. And he'd build amazing things, pallets. And you go, yeah, you know, that's free. And it's like, well, no, it's not, because you've got Adam building it, you know, and the drill and the screws and everything else that goes into it. But I suppose as far as those programs go, it's not a bad one. You know, it does show some of the reality of building a garden. And as much as a lot of my landscaper friends, my two landscaper friends, my one garden designer friend, you know, they say that, you know, they say, but it's not true. You know, it doesn't. Paints people a bad picture, but actually it's still, programs like that get people gardening, don't they? They get them in.
Oh yeah.
They keep the industry going. They keep, you know, people coming on to people like your, you know, Instagram pages and engaging. I'm sure more people watch Instagram gardening now than they do Garden Rescue, but the people who garden are slightly older people with money, and they watch programs. So yeah, keep them gardening. That's what I say.
Definitely.
Get everybody gardening.
That's what we need, more gardeners.
We do.
Especially kids. Get the kids in.
When the apocalypse happens, who would you rather be left with? You know, a gardener or a hedge fund manager? You know.
Brilliant. Exactly. I can grow you some carrots for your tea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I did work for the RHS briefly as a community outreach advisor, and one of the things we did was have sixth formers, because there's as we know, there's so much gardening for little kiddies, a bit of gardening for primary school, but there's very little, isn't there, for secondary school when you get to age, and that's when I feel you really need it. And so they ran this program, and one of the programs they did was, you know, if an apocalypse happened, who would you rather be with? Who would you rather be left with? And they all, you know, chose gardeners or, you know, scientists who could grow food. That opened a lot of their eyes, actually. That was really interesting.
Brilliant.
I don't get to the apocalypse. But it is, you know, grow your own food. We're in a cost of living crisis. And it can be cheaper if you do it the right way. You don't listen to too many influencers, but you know, it will be cheaper. It will be so much better. But they did a thing, didn't they, about how much pesticide goes on the list of veg of which ones have the most pesticide. Grapefruit's the highest, with something like 98% residue of pesticide was found. Grapefruit, really high, and it's just, yeah. She's going off on one.
Oh dear. That's a whole another hour of chat, and that could be.
Oh, is that a zombie pumpkin?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I really miss growing pumpkins this year. Just haven't got the space. Just, you know, courgettes, yes, but I think pumpkins they're just great, aren't they? They're just made.
Them and tomatoes, just
tomatoes.
Two things you can't.
Two different things that you haven't done.
Yeah, thanks.
Rub it in.
Made me feel bad. Rub it in a bit. I know. Every Instagram this year was just showing off their tomato. You bastard.
I haven't cut mine down yet, and I've still got some in there that I can.
Really? Yeah. Well, I grew them the first 2 years I was here, and they just got blight, just wiped them out, and it's just so disheartening when that happens. It really is. But I grew cucumbers quite well, and I grew some really weird ones called dragon's egg. Do you know She Grows Veg, the heritage variety? Oh my gosh, I grew some of her dragon's egg cucumbers, and they were amazing. They weren't the best tasting. I mean, they were nice, but they just looked such fun. They were really good. And I also like a crystal lemon as well, and crystal apple.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah, they're lovely. So cucumbers I find are much easier to grow than tomatoes in my garden anyway, and they're smaller ones that grow really well in pots, and they're just not as diva-ish as tomatoes can be sometimes. But yeah, so big up cucumbers.
Are you close enough to the the seed that you get a bit of seed spray or anything?
Yeah, yeah.
Salty spray you do.
There's definitely salt in the air. Definitely salt.
Yeah.
So I'm up the top of a hill, in a place called Dawlish. Got classic Devon. You know, it's a bit of a valley, and then I'm right at the top. So I can see the waves. Really, you know, like this morning, it was incredible seeing them break, but I'm quite far away. But yes, the plants need to be salt tolerant, definitely, especially the ones on the balcony. So yeah, it's interesting to see what grows well and what doesn't. One of my grasses isn't doing so well, but most of them are absolutely fine. And again, that lovely movement in the wind. Although today it was a bit manic. Yeah, I love Dartmoor and all the hawthorn, you know, the wonderful shapes, you know, like something out of Tolkien. Yeah, I love Dartmoor. Big fan. If you've never been, it's a special place. It really is.
Brilliant.
They're quite lucky being in Devon.
I think we could keep going and going, Kate, but it's nearly 9 o'clock. Don't want to cut you off, but we're not quite finished.
Do need a glass of wine now.
Sounds good to me. Mark's got a bit of a lightning round questions, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
A quick lightning round to finish. So, in the summer, are you a cuppa in the morning sun or a cold drink as the sun goes down?
Sorry, I missed the first bit. There was a woof.
Sorry.
Not very light.
He's getting fed up. He's like, it's time for you to come and cuddle me on the sofa now. Are you in the summer? Are you a cuppa in the morning sun or a cold drink as the sun goes down?
I'm both.
Both.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
As much time outside as possible.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
Next one: flowers or edibles?
Edibles, but edibles. Fledibles.
Fledibles, both. Beach or forest?
Forest.
Ooh, I thought I was going to go the other way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What's your go-to emoji in a text message?
Oh God, I'm such a sad old fart. It's just the smiley. Smiley. Yeah.
Classic.
The original. That's the original.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah. My sister's in hospital. I should say she's in hospital with jaundice at the moment, and she does the original.
Bless. If you could only have one snack for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Thai sweet chili crisps.
Oh, nice.
As long as I've got a glass of rosé as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Finish the sentence. My perfect day would be
in the garden, in my veg patch, with my dog.
Brilliant.
Bilbo, bless him.
Perfect.
Today's favourite plant.
Today's favourite plant. It is Pittosporum, because I've been using that in my Christmas wreath, and it looked really pretty. Just good old Tom.
Probably do well down there as well, because it's
it does. Yeah.
Favourite season.
Spring.
It's always a winner.
Yeah.
If you could make one thing disappear from your garden or the gardening world, what would it be?
Peat.
It had to be that for you. If it was anything else.
Got to go and see those peatlands, and that's when it'll sink in.
Definitely. Favourite weed.
Favourite weed, dandelion.
They are brilliant.
And they're so pretty.
Pretty, and you can eat.
That's a popular one, isn't it? Really popular.
The tortoise really likes his dandelions as well, especially the flowers.
You got to say Sticky Willy just because of the name as well.
Good fun as well as throwing it at people.
Makes me giggle. I still laugh at Sticky Willy.
Next one: garden visit or plant shopping trip?
Garden visit.
Get some inspiration.
She's done loads of plant shopping trips with other people's money, remember?
Yeah. Favourite garden scent?
Favourite garden scent?
Yeah.
Well, it's jasmine, because now I'm here. We have a jasmine, and in the summer in Devon, it just explodes. It's just incredible.
Amazing. final one. If you could choose 3 people to garden with, who would they be?
Oh, well, I'm talking to them now, aren't I?
Ah.
Anyone who's enthusiastic, anyone who's passionate. That's who I like to garden with. I don't like to garden with cynical old buggers. Someone who's passionate and loves it and is willing to learn.
Just have a fun day in the
Sounds
garden.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just fun. Yeah, and I love gardening with kids, and I love, oh God, people I love gardening with just because we have fun. They have fun, and actions there. They just want to have fun and learn.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
100% agree.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Lovely to talk to you.
It's been brilliant. Really, really good.
Good.
So I can't wait to see the picture of those little
my seed
willy seed pods.
Yeah, I've got to find a name for them. Yeah, although I'm worried they might all just been washed away today, but I'll go and find some. But I actually no, don't Google them because you'll come up with some weird stuff.
Oh no.
But definitely grow it as an annual. It's so easy, and it's a lovely, cheery one.
Yeah, we'll do. Definitely.
I need to get you on my podcast soon. Ask you all
it'd be good.
Interesting questions. Yeah, I need to talk to Phil. Too many garden centre owners. Talk to some real gardeners.
Sounds good.
Brilliant. And I'll look forward to seeing your new garden when you move.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. See you later.
Take care. Bye then.
Bye. Have a good Christmas.
And oh God,
you can say it now. We're allowed to say it now, you know. We are getting close enough to say it.
I know. I was talking to Steph before this and said, you know, this weekend's shopping slot is our last one before the Christmas shopping slot. It's like, is that close? It's scary.
It's really close, isn't it? What are we now? 9th. Yeah, it's ticking down quick.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it really is.
2 weeks left at work, and then it'll be done for Christmas.
When do you finish?
19th,
is it? 19th, and back on the 5th.
Yeah, possibly the 6th, because I think George has got an inset day, so I think George goes back on the Tuesday.
Right, yeah.
So I'll have that Monday off. So, but yeah, soon come round.
Yes, yeah. All right, Kate, lovely, absolutely lovely.
Lovely, yeah. We met her at Glee 2 years ago, didn't we? I think it was the first time I'd met her.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. She's had a career, hasn't she? All of that stuff.
Wow. Wow.
From, you know, not thinking she was going to be a gardener to having that journey in gardening.
Yeah, really, really good.
The possibilities of a, you know, varied career, not just doing the same thing.
So many different experiences, yeah.
Yeah. Do you still listen to the Two Heads? Is it the Two Heads? Talking Heads podcast.
Talking Heads, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You hear the latest one, Sol Walker's big news.
No, I haven't.
He's leaving. He's no longer going to be a head gardener. He's going to work for the Heritage Library.
Wow.
So neither of them will be head gardeners anymore.
No. Have to stop the podcast or rename it.
They said they're going to carry on doing it. They're still garden related.
They're still gardening. That's it. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
There's big changes to Sol. No more head gardening.
No. Wow. Oh, brilliant.
I've got a whingy dog.
You have got a whingy dog with a jumper on.
Yep. It's been crisp. Keeps him a bit cleaner because he's so little. He ends up just lathered in mud in the winter.
Yeah.
So just, you know, every time he goes out, you have to near enough bath him. So.
His little legs, his belly's right close to the floor.
Oh, it is. The grass is a bit long and it's wet like this. It's just, oh my God, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. I can imagine. I really can.
Right.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much. That was really good. Enjoyed that.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Kate, for her time.
Yeah, fantastic.
We'll
And see you next week.
See you next week.
Night, everyone.
Night,
Night,
everyone.
Mark. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Through the Garden Gate.